I'm Shane.
I'm Bo.
We are your Kentucky Fried Critics.
Welcome back. Episode 25.
That's right, we got another one. We're just moving on along. We're not stuck in a loop.
No, not anymore. We got out.
I hope we didn't scare anybody.
Right. Everything started over. It was trippy.
We made it out.
Yeah. And we didn't have to seduce anybody to do it. There was actually a really nice trick way out. You just had to.
There was no questionable motives. There was no.
No, the groundhog just wanted a freaking can of soup. All he wanted.
We'll go ahead and we'll move on. We'll get our socials out of the way so we can get to the fun of today.
We're already having fun.
Yeah. Before we even get to socials, I think we can go ahead and say this time. We'll do it a little bit different, just because it was such a gimme,
right?
That I don't think we're coming in with anybody not knowing.
Nobody being like, so I hope my guess was correct.
Yeah, so I don't think we need to beat around the bush and leave that jab at if they know or if they don't. I think we can all just know this was Encino Man.
Oh yes, the great Encino Man.
There's no reason to hide that.
No, this is one of my favorite movies when I was a kid.
We are definitely very giddy, very excited. It's fun. But before we get started,
you have to know how to find us and talk to us.
Let's go ahead and get that out of the way.
Yeah.
First one, as always, Facebook. Again, I don't want to sound depressed about that. We've been having a lot of interaction there.
Yeah, we're not gonna hate on our Facebook.
We love all you guys that are finding us and actually
talking to
commenting
us and stuff. It's great.
And we try our best to reach back out to all of you.
Do I sound too excited? I'm trying.
No, that's what we want. That's why I said I don't want to sound so deflated about the fact that it's Facebook. You're the right level of excitement. I was maybe too grounded.
Right, trying to play it cool.
If anything, we maybe shoot for the middle just so we don't scare people with too much excitement and they don't think that I hate them because of how quiet I was when I started.
We need a nice middle ground on it.
But so again, before we forget, we have maybe done once or twice, the actual place on Facebook to find us is facebook.com/Kentucky Fried Critics. Nice and easy, simple. Easy. You can definitely get there if you hear our name, which you've already heard. There we are.
There you go. Just go for the Facebook part.
That one's easy. Instagram, again, they're all owned by Meta.
It's the exact same shit.
So it's just at Kentucky Fried Critics. There's no reason to make it difficult for you. From Instagram, we go to YouTube, though. Again, right now, we don't want to change it because we know we're getting a lot of new people listening. We still got a lot of people who are here, who just got here.
Yeah, just now.
Because we had one video get a decent amount of spotlight.
That, and we did find a fun new way to say it.
Yeah. And so YouTube, though, is the odd one out.
Yeah.
It's the only one that is in no way spelled out Kentucky Fried Critics. So we'll just go ahead and get to it. So YouTube is going to be youtube.com/@KFCRitics.
Come on, y'all are with me, right? That's way more fun to say than KF Critics. Yeah. It's KFC Critics. That's way more fun.
It is, definitely. If we have to keep it, then we're going to keep it fun.
Yeah, we're going to say it the fun way.
So it's going to be KFC Critics. What's a Riddick? I don't know.
No idea. You all can argue about what that is.
We are definitely the new KFC. So
yeah, fuck
KFC,
the other one.
Yeah, KFC Riddicks. That's how we're gonna say it.
Yep.
So it is what it is. From YouTube, though, we'll go straight into our website, which is just a way to link to all of these other things, all of the socials, our YouTube video. You can get to the YouTube account from there. You can get to our personal socials.
You get to everything from that one.
If you want a hub for finding us, it's going to be this. And it's from our host for our podcast itself. That's Acast. So you're going to find that at shows.acast.com/Kentucky-Fried-Critics.
I did a little dance. I wish we had cameras so people could have saw my hyphen dance.
Soon, man, soon. One step at a time.
You just imagine. I want descriptions in the comments on what you think my hyphen dance is.
We took one step up from getting. We've now got a picture.
Yeah,
with a nice rotating image.
Yeah, I love the new picture with we can just change the pictures out of the background for whatever we're talking about.
Yeah, it's nice. It's something small. And a little,
right? That was awesome.
And until we get a video, until we can figure out how to make this all work a little bit more.
I always wanted to be a Super Nintendo sprite.
Well, the website is definitely a place to go to find all of the things you might want for us in one place.
Your all-access pass.
We have already told you all of them, though. So if you're a listener, maybe you don't need to go to the website. I don't know. This is why I feel weird when we tell the website, because I'm always like, but how'd they find that if they weren't
doing something else? You tune out and then you tune back in right at the website part.
We've finally been seeing interaction from people.
So something works. works.
Yeah, we've been seeing interaction from people on all of these places. YouTube videos have been getting more
guys.
interaction. Facebook's been getting more interaction. So I know it's working. It seemed weird.
It's like
it seems almost like
I can't get over feeling like a douche while I'm doing it.
Not even that. It's more. It's like which came first, the chicken or the egg? How'd they find the website for us if they weren't listening to us? So then why did they need the website if we tell them where everything else is?
That's a good point.
Again, it's working, so I don't know. I don't have the answer. But it is a chicken and egg thing, right? Like, it's like, I don't know which one did happen first. Did they find the website first? Did they find the podcast first? Which one did they go to? Which one's helpful? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I'm going to lay awake till like 4 a.m. Like, how in the hell did they find us?
If you want to personally let us know how you found us,
that'd be cool.
You can drop an email.
I'd love to know.
So the email to let us know that is going to be KentuckyFriedCritics@gmail.com. I think we are done with socials. I think we can definitely move on from there. We already
told you the movie.
So again, what's the beer?
The beer is Wheezing the Juice
by
Mirror Twin Brewing Company.
Again, we went ahead and ruined the surprise
of the movie.
It's not even a surprise. We took away the anticipation we normally give you from when we first open. But I don't feel like if you were listening last week and you heard this name and you've literally ever seen the movie or you've ever heard Pauly Shore speak before,
right?
And that you know he's in this movie that you didn't, because we've already done Son-in-Law.
Yeah.
So you can't be thinking it's this.
I think we've mentioned the Wheezing the Juice, didn't we?
Exactly. So it leaves this one because the only other two in his arsenal are when he tries to act a little bit more grown up, jury duty, and in the army now. This one, he is, he is
full Pauly Shore in this one.
Oh, it's great.
It's fantastic.
Before we get too far into the movie, again, we are so excited. You guys can tell. This is twice now. We've gotten too excited just about telling. Like, before we started, now when we were going to tell you about the beer,
right?
And we haven't even said anything. So before we go any further, this is a sour.
Yeah, a fruited sour.
Yeah. So unlike some of the other episodes where I'm introducing Bo to a movie for the first time, this time I'm introducing Bo to a beer for the first time.
Yeah, I've never had one of these before. When he's like, he told me, he's like, oh yeah, it's a sour. And my immediate thought was like, you mean like an expired Heineken or something? Because I've had that, and that's gross.
Yeah, well, that's not a real drink. Nobody handed that to you being like, this is a delicacy.
No, like, this has been in my fridge for 9 months. Yeah. Have at it.
Accidentally, yeah. They were like, that may or may not be good.
Right. It was not.
That's... Yeah, that's not what we were talking. That's not what I meant.
No,
when I said
that's not what this tastes like. Thank God.
It's not a sour beer. Yeah, it's not that way. It is a fruited sour. So again, this is another thing I know that you've not had a lot of experience with, fruited beers.
Yeah, fruited beers. If it wasn't dark, I wouldn't drink it back in the day.
We've had this talk before about fruited beers.
Yeah, the lambics.
That's something that is. Once we decide to do a Patreon, it might be the kind of thing we'd drop a Patreon episode. Us talking about that separately.
That shit.
But we do have a clip.
We do.
And I might. I guess now I'm forcing my hand. So we will.
You could be an asshole. Just be like, fuck 'em,
I guess I brought it up. I need to. But yeah, so we have definitely talked about fruited beers and the concept of them before. That's why I know you've not had.
Yeah, I want to try one.
We'll do that personally because again, I don't think the naming conventions work usually because it's just the name of it's just a foreign language name of whatever the fruit. Well, it's just whatever fruit they make the lambic with usually.
So
framboise. Again, I believe that's in the clip. I don't even remember. It's been so long ago. You guys will hear. So you guys now know.
We
talk about beer.
Yeah,
and we talk about stuff before we start recording. There's good stuff. If we ever do decide, if you think you'd be interested in more types of things like that, let us know.
Yeah.
We can start releasing some of the weird
behind the scenes when we just
talk about before the episode comes out.
Yeah. Some of that shit gets funny.
It does. So you just let us know. You'll get a little taste of it soon. Yeah. There's that. We won't say much about the beer. It is a fruited sour. It's very citrusy.
Yeah.
The fruits of choice for this sour.
But it's not like grapefruit citrusy.
Well, no, they were
like
all
the other ones. This one's more orangey and
that's what it said, right? It's
nice.
Like tangerine,
blood orange.
Yeah. It's a hint of vanilla.
I'll trust him.
Some vanilla.
I'll
is
trust
fruity.
him. It's
I mean,
in there.
did you know that certain variety? And I'm not trying to say that they are using that type. Mirror. It wouldn't surprise me. Mirror Twin.
Yeah.
This is the second or third now.
Instead of using the seed pod, use the fruit or the skin or the fruit.
Well, no. Sometimes just the vanilla itself, the fruity taste of it, still just comes through, even once like the actual vanilla bean, like you would use for. It's like Madagascar. I don't remember which type it is, but it's still very.
Yeah,
fruity.
they make a lot of vanilla and shit down there.
We're getting away.
Yeah,
we're getting away from ourselves.
That's a
here
whole
on
other
vanilla.
podcast. That's a KFC Foods or something.
Once we start branching out,
Yeah,
it is a tasty. It's tasty.
It's pretty good.
We'll give you a better opinion on it once we're at the end. Because right now we've had a sip or two. We've not had very much. We'll let you know how we feel.
Might be one of those ones that get worse. You ever had one of those where it's like, man, that tastes pretty good, and then you get halfway through it, and I was like, this is kind of gross.
Sometimes the temperature matters.
That's true.
Right? And so some of them are made to be drank too fast for especially what we're trying to do.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to slam something while I'm talking to you.
You got 30 seconds to drink this. If it drops under 45 degrees, it's over.
Did you just turn this into speed?
Yeah, you gotta drink that shit fast or the fucking beer explodes. Sends shrapnel everywhere.
All right. We can definitely stop trying to hold back our excitement. We can just get into the movie now,
Yeah.
I don't think we need to hold back anymore. Before we get started, we'll give a rundown of some of the important people. Again, you guys know how we like to do this. We'll hit the
main four.
We'll hit the main people first, but this is definitely another one of those movies that has a lot
of that person.
Random people popping into this movie.
Is it bad though that I've just started referring to them as like, oh, those people?
Well,
because I can never remember their names, but I'm like, I see you in so much shit. It's like every episode we've had at least one.
It's true. But yeah, this movie definitely has a lot.
Oh yeah.
There are a lot of people who, for the most part, went on to do bigger. Like this, again, this might have been some of the first times they were in some kind of big screen time. But a lot of people. There are a lot of people in this. But we'll just hit you with the main cast that's important to even address right now. And so that's good. Obviously, we're going to hit Sean Astin.
Samwise. Oh, wait, wrong movie.
I was going to say Mikey.
Sorry.
I was going to say Mikey.
From
the Goonies.
Rudy.
Sean Astin.
He's been in a lot.
Is super famous.
Yeah,
people like to kind of knock
bag
him
on him a little bit, but he's a great actor. I love Sean Astin.
Say whatever they want.
Right.
Then of course Pauly Shore.
Ow.
This is the movie that started it all.
The Weasel.
He even said it. Did you hear him in this movie? He said it. He called himself the Weasel. It was over halfway through the movie, and I was like, holy shit. It is really canon.
Right, where he's just like, I'm no worm, I'm a weasel.
He is the Weasel.
You want to be a man, Weasel?
Right? I remember when we talked about Son-in-Law, we were like, no, this is the Weasel.
Yeah. Nope. No. It's this one. We were wrong. Sorry.
He's definitely started the Weasel right here.
It's all right. We can be wrong.
We're
allowed.
For a split second. I mean, he was like half a line in this one. You know what I mean? Like it was half. And then, of course, this is like the introduction to Brendan Fraser. Like, I mean, I do believe
his first one, isn't it?
Yeah, I do believe like never in anything else that I can think of before this.
No.
You can kind of get that vibe, right? Because he has very little speaking.
Yeah. Very good acting with his face, though.
Yeah. So. He shows off some talent. I'm not trying to, again, I love Brendan Fraser. I hate that he got screwed out of Hollywood. Yeah. I hate that bad things happened to him.
I'm glad he came back.
I'm glad that he is in that we are living in the resurgence of Brendan Fraser.
Hell yes.
Me too. Love it.
He said he might even come back for a Mummy.
That's great.
Right? He's like, I'm down for it. And I was like, fuck yes.
Give me George of the Jungle too, and I'm happy.
Yes. Take my money.
I'm just saying. Again, this is what I was getting at.
He could get in that kind of shape again, though?
Of course.
That'd be fun.
I've got faith.
Does
he need to? We just need a story that explains for him to be in whatever shape he's in.
He doesn't. I don't do that swinging shit anymore.
He's George, and he's lived in...
I ride an elephant.
Well, he lives in US
Oh yeah, he
now.
lives in like LA and shit. Yeah.
He can be whatever size. Again,
he's an investment banker now.
They just need to pitch it. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, whatever. I'll go see it.
Yeah, I love Brendan Fraser. I hate that he ever had any kind of issues
any kind
Hollywood.
of problems.
Airheads.
Yes, I love that movie.
The only other two people that I will mention right now, because we see them enough to mention right now. Everybody else are going to be those like when we see those
people,
we can tell you maybe a little bit more about who they are than if we feel the need. But they're definitely they're those people. They're the kind of people that you see them all over the place. And most of you may
get
not
a T-shirt says "Let's hear it for those people," and not explain it to people.
You might get some looks.
I know, right?
If
I get too much heat, I'll explain
they might
it.
Need you. You might need to. You might keep yourself from getting into some shit that way. But yeah, the only other two people that I feel like maybe that we definitely want to mention. One close to me. I love all the things she's in, and that's Robin Tooney. She plays the best friend. She's not Robin in the movie.
Yeah,
her name is Robin.
Her real name Don't be confused.
Yeah, she plays Ella. She's the best friend. But Robin Tooney is in the Craft. She's the main girl in the Craft. She is also in Empire Records. She is Deb. She's the one who shaves her head. Robin Tooney.
I still need to watch that.
She is great. This is really early. This is very almost...
Yeah, she's not even main character.
It's like an evolution of a Valley Girl type of character, right? It's like just no Valley Girl speech. Because again, they're in Encino. We're in California.
Yeah, none of them talk like they do in Clueless or anything.
No, because this is like it's a different part.
Different part of California.
Yeah.
We don't talk like people in Reseda.
Now, the other person that I want to mention that's in this movie, again, they're in a lot of the movie. He's the bully character. He is Matt. This is Michael DeLuise. He's a DeLuise. Yes. So let's drop that. That's Dom's son. One of three. He's got three kids.
Dom, Michael and Peter, right? Those are his kids?
No, Dom is his. I don't think it's Dom Jr. So it's Michael, Peter. Oh, don't make me do this. There's three. There's definitely three. Because two of them are big so one of them is let's not jump the gun too much. First off, part of the reason me and Bo definitely love Michael DeLuise is he is sci-fi royalty.
Yep.
He is from Sequest. And then he also all of the DeLuises were actors for at least one or two, if not multiple episodes of Stargate and producers. That's what I was gonna get at. So we love the DeLuises. They are sci-fi royalty.
They are sci-fi royalty.
So this is what I was going to get at, though. So in Sequest, it's him, and then the guy who played Dagwood is a DeLuise.
Yeah.
In Stargate, it's also the dude that played the boyfriend of Sam, who was not Dagwood.
Yeah.
Right?
So he looks a lot like
he does, but that one is clearly not. He's too young to have been Dagwood. I can't
remember his fucking
But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So there are definitely three.
There's definitely three.
Pardon us. You guys know us. We don't do deep dives on this. We just kind of do our cursory stuff. So once we start touching things that are outside the movie,
right?
Even though they are topics we love, we drink, guys.
Yeah, we drink.
That's part of this. You know we do. Our memory is maybe not the sharpest sometimes. Okay? We'll leave it at that.
They act like we started drinking when the show started.
Yeah. The only thing that needs to be said is that we do love the DeLuise family.
Hail the DeLuises.
We love what they have done for sci-fi as a genre.
For TV in general, really.
Stargate especially, because we are both huge Stargate fans.
They keep teasing us with that reboot, man.
Yeah, that was the last person that I would say is super important. One more I'll mention now before we get in. Again, he's not super important. So only reason I want to mention him now is because we did just come off of Groundhog's Day. The teacher. Did you see the teacher?
I did. I was like, you're the guy.
He's the guy who picked on him for being Phil. That's Rick Dukeman. Dukeman. I don't know how to say his name. It's Canadian.
Yeah.
So it could be French for all I know.
There could be a ch in there for all we know.
He was big. He was a stand-up comedian in the 80s, and then in the 90s he started doing a lot of crazy bit roles like this where you'd see him all over. He was in this and some other things. Because he's done a few Pauly Shore things, right? I think.
When he popped up, I was like, "Yo, you're the dude from the last movie we watched."
What a crazy coincidence! Right? And that's why I had to go ahead and say like that. Everybody else, so if once we get into the role of it, we feel like we really want to drop the reference, we can definitely tell you guys. Before we roll into like just talking about the movie itself, I do want to talk to you about, since we did this, I had already talked to you once before. We talked before when we did Pauly Shore about how we loved this movie.
Yeah.
We had already been seeing the Mirror Twin beer out there, so we knew we wanted to do this.
Yeah, we knew we wanted to do this.
So I had shown you the alternate universe world we could have lived in where it wasn't Brendan Fraser.
It was Ben Stiller and
Keith Coogan.
Keith Coogan. Yes.
Could have been the people
in this movie
at the stars. I can't remember the guy who was Pauly Shore's character. But yeah, there exists out there.
Yeah, and you can go watch it.
If you want to find it, I think it's I think you can find it on. I think Pauly Shore shared it on his YouTube channel. I think you can find this.
Nice.
But yeah, it is literally just it's the test footage from where Keith Coogan was trying out for Dave, Sean Astin's character, and Ben Stiller
was supposed to be Link.
And his caveman, again, if you've seen Zoolander and you've seen the scene where he
they're
breaks
beating the shit out of the computer,
you know what his caveman looks like, because that's exactly
it was the same shit.
It is that, but 20 years earlier, or 15, or you know,
right.
I mean, it is definitely just that same character. Like it's the same motions.
It was good. The same is this like he's when he's in the room trying to.
Well, and I'm a big fan of Keith Coogan, so I thought I again it was worth mentioning. But this is watching it because it's a big chunk, right? It's like 5 minutes.
It's like a 5-minute thing. It starts. It's the whole thing, like where they first see the mud handprints, and then up the stairs, and the whole bit.
It's literally enough that if someone could trick you, someone could totally be like Mandela effect, and you might believe them. Like, holy shit, that is from the other universe, because
really
it's so much of the test footage that if no one's telling you why it exists, it would totally just blow your mind.
Right, spot for spot. Be like, no, this fell through a portal, man.
It is wild to see. We definitely live in the right universe.
Oh yeah, this is a much better version.
Brendan Fraser is amazing as Link. Sean Astin. I love 90s. 90s Sean Astin doesn't get enough credit.
No, he really doesn't. People think his career started at Lord of the Rings for some reason.
Well, even then, or they think when they think kid, they just think like maybe or even teen. They think they go straight from Goonies to Rudy.
Yeah,
they skip over this. They skip over.
Those are the only 3 movies he's ever been in. Goonies, Rudy, Lord of the Rings.
They skip over Toy Soldiers, which is a great one.
You sent me the trailer for that. We have to do that one.
It's a great one. Sean Astin definitely deserves way more credit. Especially, again, like, I think I loved him as being as the lead. He didn't get this enough either. No. It's another great reason why Toy Soldiers should get brought up more, because he is an action star lead for that one. Like, I mean, he can do it all.
Yeah, dude.
And people
probably does his own stunts.
People don't give him the credit he deserves.
More love for Sean Astin's 90s career, right?
Definitely. So like I said,
we'll bring justice to it, dude. We'll just go through all of them.
From there, we can definitely just roll into this movie for sure. I think I've exhausted some of my more like random off the top.
Yeah, the Ben Stiller thing is like, who the hell?
How am I?
That,
yeah,
right?
Once we start talking about the movie,
that one.
Well, and once we're into the movie, how do I work that? How do you
work that back in?
No, that's not the kind of thing you got to bring up before. Yeah, you know what I mean, it's you got to just be like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Now let's move on.
Not going to stop after we talk about that scene and be like, and by the way,
one time
there's a whole different thing.
So yeah, we can definitely get into it. So if we're going to start though, obviously we're going to start with the music. That's how I like to do this. This music is 90s caveman.
Right.
It starts with a beat that is definitely just caveman. Like it just gives you simple, like, right, simple. But then they start hitting it with some distortion and stuff.
Right.
And it just is like super heavy.
It's got like the Japanese pipes in the background.
And you're just like, did they bring in like half of Red Hot Chili Peppers to make this?
That'd been awesome.
Right? But does it not kind of
give you,
it's got that funky kind of like weird.
They're gonna play that Flintstone song.
Oh, you're the Weird Al.
Yeah, the Weird Al one.
Yeah. Oh man, that is.
They come in and do the Weird Al one.
That's awesome. It definitely has that kind of vibe to it. Yeah. It's again, it is literally 90s caveman. Like, I can't think of a better way to describe it. If you were around in the 90s and you've ever
has a distinct sound,
and you've ever heard like caveman music, you can definitely understand what this is and why I say that.
Yep.
It is that simple.
You gotta be old like us and remember the olden days.
I don't know if I'd go that far, man. It's not that far back. But yeah, you definitely gotta know further back than 10 years for sure. The music definitely sets the vibe for where we open the movie, because the movie does not open present day.
No, it's all prehistoric Ice Age.
We
see blizzard,
dark shots of Brendan Fraser with too much mud on him,
just caked on,
so you can barely
even tell
between
who
the
it
mud
is
and the darkness. Well, and the darkness of the scenes, you can barely tell it's they honestly could have had a different actor there.
I wouldn't have known the difference. I wouldn't have known the difference.
I would have just been like,
he's just covered in furs and mud. And
the woman, you can get a better look at her for the split second. She looks up when the light's coming into the cave. But even then, after that one moment where she's looking up,
you had to be able to recognize that it was a girl, I guess.
So that way we knew.
It was like, oh, it's a couple.
And they're in the throes of it.
Yeah, dude. Like
the Ice Age is hitting. It's hitting hard. And they are barely surviving.
Fighting to get that fire going.
And then we see
earthquake.
It's good to know California has
always
had prone to earthquakes.
Earthquakes.
Doesn't matter when it was. But yeah, earthquake then. And that we don't know. We don't know
the roof collapses and
that's it. We don't know if they survived or they don't, because that earthquake segues into modern day earthquake.
Yep.
Because again, California always.
Oh yeah,
earthquakes.
There was a continuous earthquake for 10,000 years.
Yeah, that earthquake wakes up our main character, our hero.
I guess.
I don't know if there's a hero in this story. Link is closer.
Stoney's the hero, if anybody is.
And again, I love Sean Astin, but again, I mean, it wasn't his choice, the writing of the character, so we can't fault him for that. But yeah, I don't know if I would say that this character is the hero.
No, I have some issues.
I don't even know if he ever actually redeems himself when he should have. They give him the end redemption, like he did, but I don't know if he did.
Not really. We'll get to it.
Yeah. But he is definitely our main character. We don't have to say hero. He's definitely he is the focus.
Protagonist.
There we go. Using the fancy words.
Fancy literature words.
The SAT words.
There we go.
But yeah, he is definitely, he's the person we follow the most. As soon as the earthquake hits, we see
fucking
he's
icy.
He's your typical 90s slacker kid, right? Yeah. Like he's not super slacker. He's just like your stereotypical slacker kid, right? Like, I mean, he barely cares. His room is dirty. He's got a melted icy that
just
falls
lands on him, wakes him up. He drinks it.
Takes a drink.
He's just like,
You ever had that?
Oh yeah, it's gross. A melted icy.
The syrup is too overpowering. Much. You need it to be frozen, so that way you're like slowly getting the.
Just throw it back in the freezer and then dump it in your blender.
Something, but definitely not what he just did. I'm telling you right now, you don't drink it.
Yeah, don't just drink it like that. And plus, I'd have been pissed because I'm like, oh fuck, now I'm all sticky.
Yeah. As far as we know, he did not hop in a shower.
Right, no, he's from
straight outside.
Straight outside, start digging that fucking pool, right?
It's a hell of a project.
I mean, I get it because it has that panning shot. It was like pool, 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 pool. No pool.
But still, that's a project.
I wanted to try and do it when I was a kid.
I remember seeing this and being like, when I is it that easy?
Right. I just told mom, I was
if
like,
I dig a
hole big enough,
can we do it?
Can we do this? She was like, no. I was like, why?
I sensed it.
You can do it.
But yeah,
he's something about power lines underground. I don't fucking know.
Whatever. But he's digging this.
Yeah, it's a
pool.
big hole. I'm very proud of him.
He's done a lot of work already. Lord knows they don't ever even mention how long he's been working on it.
At least a year, dude. Like if it's by himself.
Well, and we know it is because we see Stoney show up.
Stoney shows up and he's like, feel free to help. He's like, nah, man, I'm just gonna sit here and munch.
Well, and when Stoney walks up, we literally see he gets upset because the dirt gets on his clothes and he's like, dude, you can't do that. Look at my the dirt hits that bagel and he just keeps eating
it.
The dirt does not phase him. He is just like,
just blows it off. It's fine.
Last one.
Because I mean, don't want to just throw it away. It's the last one, right?
It'd be an insult to Dave to throw away the last one,
especially since he stole it from his mom
in the first place.
Right,
man. What a wild time.
Right.
But yeah, so Stoney and Dave, they're best friends. We have no idea how long they've been best friends.
It seems like forever. It has to be one of those guys like you knew since like middle school. Easy.
The catch here is that, again, Stoney appears to be his actual first name. It is not a nickname, right? Like, that's the crazy part.
Yeah, I don't think anybody calls him... Teachers call him Stoney. I think his dad even calls him Stoney, doesn't he?
Yeah, so how wild is that? If Stoney itself is not his first name, it's definitely got to be that it's like Stonewall.
Yeah, something.
Right?
His last name is Stone.
No. Give me a second. The only people we get last names for are Dave and Stoney. Dave Morgan and Stoney Brown. So that's what I'm saying.
Blows the hell out of my theory.
So, again, the fact that teachers are calling him Stoney, they're not trying to make a reference to him being a stoner.
It's just his name.
So, again, it's Stonewall.
Yeah.
If anything, because that's definitely a legitimate first name. You know, Stonewall Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a weird one.
His dad was a
Civil
War buff. and low-key racist, just rooting for the South.
Hence why he likes Stoney.
That's why he goes by Stoney and doesn't want to go by Stonewall.
But
we figured it out.
So those two, they're best friends. We have no idea how long they've been best friends, but we can assume a long fucking time. They definitely drop the grade school references about things every now and then that have happened, especially while talking about Robin, who gets brought up right away.
Yeah,
his crush.
Because that's why he's digging the pool. Is
he wants to impress her.
He thinks it's going to make him popular.
And prom king.
It's going
to make him a legend. Yep. He literally says a legend. I was like, God damn, high aspirations, right? High aspirations.
It's very important to him.
Is this their senior year?
Yeah, it's their senior year.
Those are high aspirations.
Especially for a guy it seems like the year's like half over.
They're in the 7th inning stretch, and he's trying to become prom king and a legend after doing no work
except digging a hole.
Yeah,
you gotta do more than dig a hole, buddy.
Like I said, high aspirations. This man is shooting for the stars, baby.
I mean, yeah, do it.
Well, and there you got Stoney's trying to talk him down. Stoney's trying to be like, let's be real.
Like, look, dude, like she's not gonna go out with you.
She has no interest in you. Ever since puberty happened, she's not even talked.
She's never looked at you, dude.
Get over it. Prom king's out. She's out.
Mine. It's all gonna work out for me. I just have to finish digging my hole.
You know, don't get me wrong. I totally believe you are the main character in your own story. But again, there's a difference between being deluded about it
and knowing you're being the main character.
Like, the main character doesn't have to be the prom king.
Yeah.
The main character can be a lot of things.
Yeah.
He is very deluded about who he is and his story.
Oh, yeah.
And he has not come to terms with it.
He has not done any work toward that end.
Stoney is a good friend, and he tries to ground him.
Yeah, he's realist.
He tries just to. He's like, dude, like, we aren't those people,
right?
But we're not.
And who gives a shit? Man?
Yeah, but we live a good existence,
right? I just want to be me. I don't want to be cool or popular. You know?
I like me.
I like who I am. Stoney has the best message through this whole fucking movie.
He's the
real hero.
He's the hero.
Yeah.
He's not the main character, but he is the hero. For sure. I agree 100%. There's so many times in my notes where I'm like, fuck this. Stoney's the right one.
Yeah, fuck, I agree with Stoney here.
We cut away from the backyard to realize that this is not like a summer day. This motherfucker got up early before school started
to dig on this hole. That's dedication.
That's insane. I can't even believe that.
I would never. Even on my even during the summer, I wouldn't have got up early to do it like that.
Wait, before we start getting into school, I do want to point out we almost skipped over the annoying sister. I only point this out because she is not in the rest of the movie at all, right? Like, I mean, maybe at dinner.
She's at dinner. Like, that's it.
But I mean, she basically disappears. Do we need her at all? She is just there to be
annoying sister
right here for like 30 seconds to be like,
you're a loser.
I want to point out, I don't care what the fuck she acts like. If he finishes that pool, she's being in it.
Yeah, she's gonna swim in it, and she's gonna be pissy if he says that she can't.
All of it's bullshit.
Right.
Fuck this dumb shit.
Fuck this little bitch.
Fuck this bitch. I hate all of it. I didn't want to skip past it because if we skip past it right now, we probably won't talk about her.
No, because she's
not
like,
even important at dinner.
At dinner, that's it.
And she's not important then. She barely has anything important to say.
She just pops in to call Dave a loser. Right? Like, that's all she does.
2 times.
Yep.
Unimportant. They don't even barely put her in the background of most shots.
No.
It's ridiculous.
And their spots aren't even funny.
No, they're not at all.
They're just, you quit being a loser.
Now we can move into school.
We roll in with some Def Leppard, man. It was awesome.
I love, as we're getting to the school, all the classic 90s packaging we see.
Yeah.
The Doritos that he's eating as soon as he gets off the scooter. What the fuck? Hey, and can we address the fact that everybody acts like Stoney's not cool, but he's riding up on this, what is this, classic Vespa or something? Dude,
this is fucking badass, dude, from like the 60s.
Nobody else there has anything nearly as cool as that vehicle.
They do.
Fuck them.
Nor his style, man.
He's just ahead of his time.
Aren't you all supposed to be in California? You're supposed to all be cool?
Ahead of his time, I'm telling you.
Right, for real.
And then, again, as they're riding up, how cool is this? Why in the 90s do we see, if it's a high school in California, is the campus always the dopest looking thing you've ever seen?
Everything looks badass.
There's like staircases fucking going outside. They're outdoor staircases.
There's like plazas and shit you can hang out in with fountains and stuff.
What the fuck?
Our high school was built like a prison.
Well, and the inside, like the little courtyard thing that also had an open ceiling, it seemed like.
Right?
What in the
fuck? fuck, dude.
Too much, dude.
They have it too good. Much. They have it too good out there with their fancy ass high schools.
And again, it was only like high schools
in the 90s
in California.
In the California,
you mean like if it was a TV show in California in the 90s, this is what the high school looked like. It was something
Hills,
like this.
90210.
Something. But again, if it was Middle America, they made sure they knew.
Yeah.
Someone did their research. They knew our high schools looked like prisons.
Yeah. They're like, no,
same architects.
You don't want them to be able to get out of the school easily. We want to keep them in.
Yeah, so after they get off their bike, though, we see Robin.
Yeah,
right?
And she's looking crazy.
Then they spend like 5 minutes analyzing this makeout session.
Oh, it was gross.
It was weird. I was like, why are we doing this? Why are we getting in the camera shots to go with it? Like, all of it was unneeded. I didn't need to watch the actual squeezing of the butt. I didn't need to watch.
Nope, didn't need any of it.
Very strange.
It was too much, especially the tongue.
Yeah.
That was the worst part.
But it's also where we see that, again, our bully character is not just the bully.
Yeah,
he is also the romantic interest of Robin. Yeah. And again, it's a very 90s trope.
Oh yeah, the dickhead gets the girl that the one dude, the nerdy guy, wants.
Even though it makes no sense, like it's outside her character type to be into that kind of guy. Because she's so
nice and sweet, and he is a dickhead to everybody.
Well, and outside she does. Like as they're analyzing, she seems so into him, right? Like she's not pushing him off. We immediately leave outside to go inside to the classroom, and he's also still like making. And she seems very disinterested. Right. Like she's like he's all in her face, and she's.
I guess because the bell rang, it's like nope, gotta stop.
Switch it off. Like I'm in school mode.
Yeah, we're in school mode now. Behave yourself.
We can't do that.
Don't touch me.
And then, so the classroom scene, though. Again, this is where we get
dude Rick, from the last movie.
Rick Dukeman, or however we say that. He's also in The Burbs. That's what I was trying to think of earlier. Have you ever seen that one?
Tom Hanks? Yeah.
He's the best
neighbor.
friend. Yeah.
Hey.
There you go. I was like, I know there's another big one that he's in. Why can't I think? Yeah, that's it. That's The Burbs.
I like that movie.
So we see him. He's given his Cro-Magnon Man. And turns around. Cro-Magnon Man. Yes. Everyone from the Ice Age. Right. And what were those things? The moving ice blocks called?
Glaciers.
And then he proceeds to say glaciers like six.
Knew you were paying attention.
He says it like 6 times though. After that, he says glaciers, and then he's like glaciers, and I was just like, dude, okay, we get it.
Right? They were made by fucking glaciers.
This was such a random. After
it's
watching,
just to set up why there might be ice underground.
Yeah, no. Watching this movie now, right? Like again, this is the kind of thing I never noticed when I just watched something for fun.
Yeah.
But watching it now to talk
about it,
pseudo analyze in the dumbest way that we
possibly could.
I literally had never paid attention to how useless that scene was, and it is literally just to be like, this is why they know what a caveman is when they find one,
right? And why there might be something frozen underground.
Why they're not surprised, and then we immediately see they find something cold underground. A Mousterian bowl.
A Mousterian bowl. Is that I didn't look it up. I'm calling bullshit. That's not a real time period.
I don't know if it is or not, but do you know what this is what my note about the scene is. My note was, this is a wasted moment to have Sean Astin here and not have him say it wrong the first time as a Goonies nod. And then when Stoney corrects him just be like, that's what I said.
Yeah, that would have been good.
Right? Because again,
a mustard bowl, Mousterian bowl. That's what I said.
Right? It would have been classic. 90s audiences didn't, they weren't ready for those type of throwbacks. No. But like modern day audiences love that type of shit, dude. That would have been so funny. Yeah, that would have been great. Well, especially because, again, one of the people we didn't mention earlier, and he's not quite on screen yet, but I'll go ahead, since we're already dropping the Goonies of it all.
Since we're already talking about Goonies.
I'll mention it. The movie does have Ki-Hoo Kwan, who is also, he just won awards, right? He won Oscars.
He won an Oscar like last year.
Yeah, Everything Everywhere
all at once.
Yeah, but he is also Data
from Goonies. He likes to make booby traps.
And Short Round from Indiana Jones. But yes, already have our Goonies connection in the movie, right?
Right.
How can we not? How hard would it have been to give a little nod? And that would have been how perfect.
Right.
We're dealing with a hard to pronounce word.
Yeah.
And you just let him pronounce it wrong.
Just do it wrong. Use mustard. I did it for you. I wrote the scene for you.
But yeah, I really feel like it was a missed connection.
It really was. They should have.
It would have been so. Again, it would have served no purpose other than the nostalgia, but it would have gotten a good laugh.
I would have laughed about it. I'd be like, it's the same thing.
But so they find this Mousterian bowl, this prehistoric Tupperware.
That's what Stoney calls it. It's like prehistoric Tupperware, man. And then like right while he's walking out of the thing,
trips.
An earthquake.
Yeah,
another earthquake.
I know,
happens,
and it makes him trip,
and he fucking falls and throws it.
Dave
does the
God
best
bless. This
save.
is the craziest save ever. Why is he not on the football team?
Right, does like a 15-foot dive for that
off
thing.
the wheelbarrow.
Right, doof, big leap, saves it,
Perfect catch.
There's like an ice cube underneath
lands,
him.
Like he was seconds away from breaking his chin.
Right, like an inch, smash right into that block
solid
of
block
ice.
of ice would have busted him
Right.
up.
Wouldn't have gave,
Yeah, it's a block of ice, and he realizes there's a face.
There's a man buried in my pool.
No, we can't see the way we see it right there in this scene. It's just
it's a POV up from like inside the ice,
from
looking
inside
up
the
at
ice,
him.
and then what we could see from outside is just all dirt covered, so we can't see what
it's
the
just
prop
a little
looks like.
patch.
But then we see that they do dig it out. They've got it in the garage. It's still nighttime.
I liked their little rig that they
the pulley,
to pull it up with the tractor.
How quickly they pulled that together.
It was ingenious,
too. Where did that come
they
from?
took like
they made a winch. They made a winch.
And
out of a playground equipment,
like
one
equipment,
of those cheap
a tractor,
swings,
right?
Holy shit!
It was awesome.
It was great. But so then we see this ice block in the garage at night, and it looks believable, right? I just have to say,
if it's plastic, it looks like ice.
The next scene. That's why I only point this out. During this scene at night, it looks amazing. The next scene, as soon as again we see it inside, they're kind of talking about how crazy it is that they found this, and it's definitely a caveman. And I'm like, you guys are fucking insane. Like, what a crazy fantastical world this movie is set in, that they're just like, caveman, of course it's a caveman.
Of course it's a caveman.
Of course we dug up a caveman.
I'm not gonna call the police or anything because I found a body buried in my fucking yard.
No, of course not. Their thought was we need to thaw it out. They don't do anything yet. That's just their thought.
They like slept outside.
They slept outside, away from it. They woke up and they were like, we need to. Now they step inside and this thing looks like a giant piece of plastic.
Yeah, now it looks bad.
I was like, goddamn, what happened to the night before, dude?
Dark lighting, I guess. I have no idea.
My theory is this. They were smart enough to wet it down the night before.
Yeah.
So it had that glistening look. Nobody thought to re-wet it whenever the next scene was shot. And so we could just see the dry plasticky
look to it. Yeah.
That's what I think happened.
That's probably. Man. Now we gotta go back in time and fix shit.
Dude, because again, it looked amazing the first time I saw it. Right? I totally bought that they had a giant block of
I didn't
ice.
catch it the next time. I probably was writing something down. But the first time I was like, dude, I can't tell if that's actually ice or if it's a giant plastic shell.
Though the daylight, it's real bad.
Oh, it's real bad?
It's real bad. Like, you can definitely, I was just like, man, why they gotta mess it up like that?
Call the doctor. We'll use the TARDIS again. We'll go back and fix it. That can't be time locked, right?
Their thought, though, was let's thaw this out. They start pulling heaters, and we see this.
Like, this wouldn't be the worst smelling thing in the entire universe when you thawed it out.
Well, and not only that, like, again, we live in a fantastical world, thank God. But if we didn't, if this was real, right? What's the outcome here?
It's gonna turn to soup.
Well, no, it wouldn't even be soup. They've had mammoths and shit that have come out of blocks of ice. What you have is a freeze-dried mummy, essentially. But so then they have a prehistoric corpse that they have to explain away in their garage. Probably not good.
No.
Dude. I don't think the police are believing you. They're not automatically be like, oh, it's a caveman.
Yeah, sure it is.
They're like, who'd you
what
homeless
kill?
Man? Where'd you find him?
You pickled him in salt and then buried him.
Which bridge underpass did you find him from?
Right.
We know you stole him from a hobo fire. Let's get on with it.
Locked him in a freezer for 4 years. That's why he looks this way.
But again, you get what I'm saying? Like, this was a horrible... I don't understand what their thought of what the outcome they wanted was. Again, like, you could see it. This is the beginning of seeing Stoney the hero and Dave the bad guy.
Bad guy? He's kind of a dick.
Because Dave is totally already, like, again, not living caveman.
No, just caveman.
He's already thinking of how to exploit it.
Yeah, this can make me famous and popular,
right?
And Robin will love me again.
And Stoney's like museum, dude.
Yeah, like, no, like
this is historically important.
We should, like, tell somebody about this. We see later in the movie, they don't live far from a museum.
No, they could easily
could have called somebody.
All right, but yeah, so again, at this point, they've got the heaters just are running full blast, but they've still got to go to school.
And Dave is like, tell no one.
Tell no one. No, I love this. Tell no one. And he
immediately.
But he says tell no one, and then just to make sure though, Stoney says, "What about Steve Kooser?"
No, not even him.
Nobody, dude. Nobody.
Right.
Yeah, but now immediately
as
the
soon
douche
as they get to
again
school.
Proving the douche. He's not the hero. He's not the hero. He's the main character, not the hero. He runs in and immediately runs to Robin. I mean, he doesn't even wait for Ella, the friend, to walk away. So she heard because he screams.
Yeah,
this shit.
she's like, "Oh, I got a caveman. You got to come over and see it."
Again, I want to say what world we live in. Thank you, Robin, for being a grounded character
She's
who's
just
immediately
like, bullshit.
You're insane.
Right? I'm not doing that.
We need one person to be grounded, and it's good. I'm glad it's her.
Yeah.
Because everybody, again, I understand this is a fantastical world. It is a world where a caveman dethaws from ice and then has a fun time in high school. Beyond that, though, I need
this is a real world reaction to when someone tells you that.
I need everybody else to live in the real world because everybody else in this movie doesn't. You know, like we need one person to be like, "What the fuck?
Bullshit! You have a caveman. I'm not dealing with this right now. I have Spanish or whatever."
Right? Like we gotta know. As this happens, we see Matt, our bully douche.
Yeah,
he notices that Dave's talking to Robin from a distance.
Yeah,
and he's like,
he just slinks over.
And we see this time he's got his
cronies
lackeys with him. His lackey. What is the hair, dude? Why did tall hair like this exist through all of the 90s?
Vanilla Ice.
Like think about it. It started here,
right?
But when me and you, like the tail end of the 90s, we're definitely still like this too. Like people were still rocking like guys with tall hair.
It
was a little bit different.
It was turning into like more spikes with frosted tips toward the end.
But it was still tall. What was this fad?
I don't know.
I never did. I was never a tall hair person.
Because we all thought we were really short and wanted to get more height. I don't know.
In all fairness.
Yeah.
Michael DeLuise is short.
I mean...
He's the only short.
That's not fair, is it? Right? Like both of his brothers are giants compared to him.
So that could be why his character is.
He doesn't go ahead and give me a couple more inches here.
It definitely doesn't explain the rest of the 90s and everybody else. But this guy for sure.
Totally.
Yeah, so we see he runs up and he's like, "You're not going to talk to my woman. You're not going to do this. She's not interested in you." And he throws out this line. He throws out the, "She wouldn't piss on your gums if your teeth were on fire." Which is such an outrageous statement that I agree with Dave. How do you respond to that? Because Dave's answer was, yes, she would. But do you want her to? Because then she's pissing in your mouth. I don't understand. Like, again, like you hate a guy like Matt, but that is a great thing to say because there's no comeback. Every comeback you have to it makes you sound bad.
Oh, just close my mouth.
Oh, but then I'm right. You're not interested. You know,
it's like there's no winning. There's no way to win.
You hate a guy like that, but that was so clever.
That's just when you swing on the guy. That line is when you just swing on the guy because you got nothing left after that point.
But Dave couldn't, man. He was stapled to the board.
Poor bastard. He's stapled to the fucking wall.
Permanent markers.
Eat me
on his forehead.
What are you writing? What did you do? That would suck. Not being able to see what somebody wrote on your head.
What a douche move.
Oh, he pulled the fire alarm.
I know. Well, and it was right between the two doors.
The two doors, so everybody just walks past. And
horrible.
Just beat red.
Again, this guy is a bully.
Yeah, he is. He's an asshole.
Total through and through. This is the first time during this, though, like when he's giving the speech about why he shouldn't talk to Robin, we get this character's catchphrase.
Shoosh.
Shoosh. It's definitely shush.
Yeah.
But it's definitely spelled.
He says it.
If you were to spell it phonetically, there's like 4 O's in this, right? It's shoosh.
Chad Gable in the WWE has totally ripped that off. That's what he does now. He comes out to the ring and goes,
but
shoosh.
It's even the hand movement because he doesn't even do one finger. It's usually like the
rock and roll.
It's the bull.
But he turns it sideways. Shoosh.
Everything about it, dude.
It's
like
so douchey.
Then he rounds it all out again. Since we went back to the exact speech right before he pulls the thing, he's like, "Some of us, what is it? Some of us are pumped. Some of us pump, and some of us slump. Right? You look like you need a lot more pump."
What a fucking douche! I know it's like Stoney was like, "Oh, he's got 18-inch biceps. Mine are only 4. I'm over here. I'm like, mine are 12 and I don't even work out.
It was, again, goddamn, man.
Right?
That's a bully, dude.
Fuck him, dude. I could take him. I could take him in a heartbeat.
As this is going on, though, we see back home, the ice is starting to break.
Totally melting. It's starting to crack and break, and it's just...
And then it shatters.
Super fire hazard, though, right? All these heaters piled around.
One of them was directly underneath
it.
Right where water was going to be, definitely in it.
It's a wonder they didn't burn that thing down.
Definitely, it shatters. He breaks free.
Drops to the ground. And he just sits
up.
And
he has a wicked first 15 minutes, right? Like he sits up, he kind of just shakes the ice. This was another bad effect scene. It looked like pieces of plasticky glass.
Yeah.
It looked bad.
It did not look like ice.
How hard would it have been?
Just throw a bag of ice on him. He's only gonna be there for a second.
To take a bag of ice and shatter it, right? Like take a sledgehammer to it and then dump it. How hard would that have been?
It'll suck, but
he could have handled it.
You could have handled it.
I think Brendan Fraser has it in him.
He's done worse shit for movies. The poor bastard.
Handle some ice in his lap. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, after that, though, he shakes it off. His first 15 minutes in the modern era involve attacking a mailman because he didn't understand.
He has this shovel. He just leaves the package on it.
Drinking from the sewer grate thing, water.
Spits it out because it's gross.
Smog.
He gets choked out by the truck going past. And then
the crazy PTSD Mastodon flashback that the garbage truck triggers.
It has the big fork things
that came down. Did you hear the sound effects?
Yeah, the sound effects were all
tell me whatever
noises.
You want. That was they did not play anything that a garbage truck actually makes. Those are all elephant
noises and shit.
Yeah.
And he just throws it and throws the shovel at it and runs the
like
fuck
a spear.
away. Yeah, like a spear. I mean, hey, it was a good
throw.
That is high
tech. That was a good throw.
Oh yeah, well, you got it square in the middle.
I'm telling you.
He was good. It had been a mammoth, man. Kill shot. Square between the eyes.
But again, we're still rocking the look that we had from the beginning of the movie.
Mud
everywhere. Like, again, now that it's daylight, earlier I said the darkness is maybe what made it hard to tell that it's Brendan Fraser. But here we are with daylight, and I'm telling you, it's still pretty hard to tell it's Brendan Fraser.
If you didn't know.
But so he gets cleaned up. He runs inside after getting scared.
By the garbage truck Mastodon.
And after that, he turns the TV on. He gets alarmed by the TV.
He gets a little clip of the Terminator.
Which comes back several times. But yeah, at that point, we cut back to our fearless duo of Stoney and Dave getting off school, coming home. And when they get to the door, that's a sliding glass door.
There's muddy handprints
and they're like,
what?
And then the smoke alarm goes off, and they're like, what? They get in. They get inside and they see the TV is covered with cave paintings and muddy fingerprints.
Peanut butter because the dog was sitting there licking it.
I think it was just supposed to be his muddy hands because you think he would have figured out how to open and then that it was food, a peanut butter jar.
I think he would have just ate it.
I think again the dog was digging in the pool earlier. He probably would have licked the mud.
Yeah, I've seen dogs eat worse.
Yeah, again they might have used peanut butter and that might be why the dog. But again, I don't think it was supposed.
I was probably immediately just going movie making. I was like, oh, it's peanut butter.
Yeah, but I think for in movie,
it's supposed to be mud.
Yeah, in world, it's supposed to be mud. Because again, it looked like the same color.
He's just dabbing it off his titty, scrolling on the TV.
He just wanted to make his
cave drawings. I didn't like this. We gotta make it look better.
So then they hear the screaming and it's upstairs. It's in his room. They get up there.
He's trying to make a fire in the middle of his room.
They're screaming at each other. But before they see him, while they're walking up, I want to point out they see that they make it to the outside garage and they were like, oh, he's not here.
Right? He melted.
And he melted. I was just like, no, Dave.
Right.
What world?
There would be something left.
What
Dave.
Lack of science? What kind of education are you getting?
There was
Dave?
Still ice even. Like, if there's still ice, how would the body, completely disintegrate?
Like, come on, Dave. Dave, that's outrageous.
His chance at being cool had slipped through his fingers and his whole fucking world was just over.
Well, and so then we see upstairs, get back to
where we were.
Yeah, since that I just needed to make sure we talked about the outrageousness of how dumb Dave was. Yeah, but so we get back upstairs and we see everything's going okay at first. Even though there was a little bit of a freak out when they first came into the room, everything's calm. Then the phone rings. I'm on Link's side.
Yeah.
We are so many years out from when I've lived in a house with a house
with
phone.
a phone, that would scare the shit out of me.
That, well, even in the movie, I was like, holy shit, I forgot how jarring.
I'm not used to that noise anymore.
That
right?
ring is very jarring, is it not? It's like
It's
like hearing an alarm clock in a movie, and you're like, whoa, can someone stop that?
Oh shit, that's not how they sound anymore. Mine plays a little tune for me.
But you know what I'm saying? Like
right?
it's jarring, and it was the same thing. Like I was just like,
now.
I was like, I'm on Link's side. What is
fuck
this?
that thing. Throw the bat at it.
Let's stop that now. But yeah, and so while it's going off, Dave's like, stop it, answer it, Stoney.
Fucking throws a baseball
But then
bat.
Stoney saves the day.
Right? With the lighter. Comes in just in time, right when Link's coming at him. Chink.
I want to point out, though, were we just too young? Did Bics in the 90s have a way to change the flame setting? Because that is 100
really high.
That's 100% a Bic, and it is rocking like the kind of flame like when you buy the cheap ones where you can turn up the flame.
Adjust it and shit.
And I have never had a Bic that has naturally come with a flame that high, and I've never had a Bic that has had an adjustable flame.
No.
Is this just movie magic because they wanted the scene? You know,
they
did something.
Did a regular one, a little piss,
and
a little flame.
they shoved like a safety pin into the hole so it just lets more gas out.
Could have been
something, because
I've never had
that. Was
that
definitely
high.
a Bic, and that's definitely not what Bic flames look like.
No, they're like a half-inch tall at best.
It's crazy. Again, they're very uniform.
Yeah,
Bics are good lighters for a reason.
Yeah, because they give you like 1,000.
You know what
lights.
it's going to give you. You know what it looks like. You know when you've got one that's not working right because you know what it should look like.
Mm-hmm. You can tell when they're almost gone because you light it and like, oh, that's about gone.
Oh, yeah, that was not real.
Crack lighter.
Yeah, that was not real. I don't know where that came from.
Blowtorch, but it seems to mesmerize Link, and he's just like, ooh.
This is yeah.
And then he takes it and he goes and he tries to start his fire in the room again.
And this moment is also when the only in movie time that we hear Encino. The guys, we're from Encino, which again means nothing to a caveman. But again, it's the only time. After this, it could be any nondescript Californian town.
Yeah, I don't even think you see signs anywhere.
This is the only time.
We're from Encino. Just trust us. This wasn't filmed in San Diego.
Right? Again, I mean, that's the only time it's there is during this whole scene right here. Then we get the cleaning. Now's when we get
montage
the
all the
montage.
soap. I'm too sexy.
Well, dude, you're cutting it short with soap. They put
everything. They put mouthwash,
I
toilet
think I saw
cleaner.
a Pine Sol.
Yeah, there's everything, dude. They just pouring it in.
It was dangerous.
It just burns his skin off.
We advise for the viewers at home, do not try.
The mouthwash probably ain't gonna hurt you, but like don't put toilet cleaner and Pine Sol in your bath water. It's just bad for you.
Yeah, not a good idea. But it works.
Just skip the middleman and go to bleach.
It takes a lot. The tub looks disgusting.
It's just so gross at the end.
But he comes
mud in the bottom.
He comes out looking like the coolest early 90s half alternative MTV
kind of
generation.
Like half dreadlock hair.
It's like half dreadlock, half Pauly Shore, because Stoney even says he's got my hair. Can we call him Stoney too?
We call him Stoney number 2.
But yeah, Dave is like, no. Dave shoots that down. Dave, we know Dave's the bad guy, and he is kind of a dick in this moment, but I do agree Stoney number 2 should never have been on it.
Axel wasn't bad, but...
Well, Axel at the time was outrageous because the only Axel people knew was Axl Rose. If you would have given it 10 more years, if this movie was made in 2002, not 92, there probably would have been enough Axels that would have been totally got acceptable. Away with it. But yeah, Axel at the time would have been like...
What? No, there's only one Axel, and that's that.
Well, especially for Axel to have been a 17, 18-year-old kid's name. So that means like in 1972, his parents' name? No. Not happening. It was a little crazy, but then Dave was just, he's maybe a bit of a dick. But Stoney number 2 should never have been on the table. Link was good.
Yeah, Link is a good name.
Linkovich is maybe a little bit too much. I love that immediately Stoney goes, well, I guess Link is okay. Can I call him Linkovich?
Totally, and they do their
the Weasel handshake.
Weasel handshake where you twiddle your fingers at each other. Can I ever get my friends to start doing that.
It's weird. It feels weird when you do it, dude. It feels weird. I'm not a big fan of it.
I don't like the weasel noise. That sounds gross. The noise he makes when he does it. Yeah.
But so then they start talking to him, and he's understanding.
Yeah.
They have a whole conversation where they're trying to explain to him, like, look, we made up a name for you. Yeah. This is your name.
Your name is Link. I'm Dave.
And
that's
again,
Stony.
Say what you want about his logic reasoning part not being super sharp, because he gets lost a couple times. The fact that he is able to pick up vocabulary.
Yeah, he picks up, like they say, buff.
That quickly.
Like, dude, you look buff. And he's like, buff.
Is insane.
Buff.
Right? Like, he's very smart.
Right.
They get lost in the moment, though, and forgot, oh, shit, we've not cleaned the house yet.
Oh, yeah, because mom and dad are home now.
We need to go take care of that.
I like his excuse. And the fact that it even works is outlandish.
His excuse for what?
For why the house is trash. Oh, I'm cooking dinner.
I love his excuse.
That doesn't explain all the mud and shit everywhere.
I love his. Well, yeah, and then they never address it. Never. But I love his excuse for Link.
He's a foreign exchange student.
I told you guys
this.
And there is literally, he gaslights the hell out of his parents till they just are like, yeah, you're right.
The dad's finally like, you know what? I do think I.
Well, and then he hits the mom's like, I still don't. And then he hits the mom with the, don't you remember in 3rd grade when you left me at the play?
You left me in the parking lot all night. How could you have done that?
Soccer dues in the 6th grade.
Did you pay him? No.
He'd been hiding those in his back pocket.
They came out way too fast. He had them ready.
He's been waiting for the time to use those to help him do something.
Got you, bitch. I never forgot about that fucking parking lot. It was cold and wet.
And so at this moment, they finally are like, okay, he's definitely an exchange student. And then like, where's he from? This was the funniest moment because Dave couldn't think of anything. He's not the hero. So he's kind of the dimwit, even though you look at Stoney and you think he's the dimwit. Stupid. And so he looks at Stoney and Stoney goes, he literally out loud, so the parents can hear it, says, I don't know, Estonia? Question mark.
Right? Like, does that work for you?
And everybody goes, oh, okay.
All right, that's fine.
We also need to address, they did give him a full name.
Linkovich Chamovsky. Linkovich Chamovsky. It sounds that
Estonian.
Part of the world.
It sounds Estonian.
You put off and ski in it. What more do you want? Should we've called him Basil Romanov? Would that have done better for you? My terrible Russian accent.
After this, we go back upstairs, though, right? We see a little bit of...
He gets the sweet, like, cow pajamas.
And they're looking in the mirror. Right. We see the cutout of the woman. The pinup.
Gazangas.
Well, no, Dave tells him first. He goes, Gazangas. And then he's like, oh, Gazangas. Mm-hmm. I remember, like, that is one of those things that's etched into my head. Like, I remember that from when I was a child so bad. And then immediately, Stoney hits us with the honeycombs.
Yeah.
Then the next thing we get, though, is wake up time. It's time for school. They got to take him to school.
Yeah, you got to go enroll him in school.
And
he looks dope. He's got the cool trench coat and shit.
Well, and he always rocks the vest over top of a t-shirt, right? Yeah. Man, so
super 90s, man.
He's got the... Later on, he learns to skateboard, and he's always carrying... I mean, he looks dope. Like I said, he is the dopest. He's the most
dopest
like, 90s,
early 90s person ever.
But so, while we're in the school, we see... He's already catching the eyes of the girls.
Oh, yeah, he walks past these 2 girls, and they're just all like, oh, my God. And I recognized one of them.
Rose McGowan.
I couldn't think of her goddamn name till I got here.
Rose McGowan.
Right?
Super young, dude.
Super young. She had to be like 18.
And we see him start climbing. Because again, this is a crazy school with lots of weird
windows and shit. So he just starts climbing up the fucking wall. Because he's basically a monkey. But the whole time they're going to enroll him and stuff, Dave's being a dick. He's like, oh, we can use him to do this and be cool.
Stoney literally
stuff.
his him with the... Again, because Stoney's the good guy.
His friend.
Well, he says, I just want to be his friend.
Right? It's like, fuck you, Dave.
Stoney's the good guy.
Stoney is the good guy.
Then they leave after getting him enrolled and everything, and I guess he catches a whiff of Ella from there.
Yeah, and jumps off the
There's no real
story.
Explanation for what happens, because there's no way he saw her.
No, he just kind of goes...
And then he runs and jumps.
Does a big flip.
And practically assaults her.
Right? She's into it, though.
I know.
Which like, I'm just like, wow, you one of those crazy chicks. Okay.
Yeah, no, as soon as they walk away, she's just like, Is he fine?
That one's mine.
Is
I have
fine?
dibs.
Is he fine? Does he look... I mean, it's not just me, right? Is he...
Right, it's not just me, right? Like, that's hot as fuck, right?
We're in the classroom He's totally just
He's just doing cave drawings on the board.
The fact that's his go-to.
This is where Matt sees him for the first time.
Yeah.
He's just like, who the hell is this dipshit?
Not impressed by this guy.
He's not that cool. I'm cooler.
Well, then we hear the girls. They keep. He's really jive. Was this real? They use it a few times in the movie, and I'm like, is this?
I don't remember.
Is this Mean Girls and Fetch? You can't make fetch happen. You can't make jive happen.
I don't know. I was like 6 in 92, so I don't know.
I mean, I wasn't. I was 8. I'm not. I mean, let's not pretend like it was like crazy. But I'm just saying,
wasn't
like,
too hip. You know what I mean?
I don't recall there ever being a resurgence of the word jive.
That's from like the 50s,
right?
man.
I don't remember there being a resurgence of that vocabulary word myself.
The only time I've ever really remember hearing it before this shit was in like Airplane, when the old lady starts talking to the two dudes and shit. You jive turkey. Blah,
yep.
blah, blah, blah.
And that's not how they meant it. They meant it like he's a really cool dude.
Yeah, like he's cool as fuck.
Then this is great though, right? After the class is out, we see the hallway scene with the dancing.
Yeah, the Run DMC guys. He just jumps in and shit.
And then they start doing it like it's a monkey.
Right.
I was like, this is so fun. This is so random. This is
why he gets over with everybody. He just jumps in with anybody and
he's
starts
willing to do whatever.
Yeah, he's not worried about being cool.
The next one takes us to Spanish class. The cheese is old and moldy. This is a line. This is a phrase I have, again, talking about things etched in your head. Things that have always lived there rent free. That is a phrase. I probably prior to this, I couldn't have told you when the last time I watched Encino Man was, and probably could not have told you that why I use that phrase.
Right.
Because I use it a lot.
Every time you
and
find
it's a really random phrase. Well, I think I don't run into it that often, but I definitely always use the phrase, the cheese is old and moldy. And then immediately after that, where is the bathroom?
Yeah, but this is where Ella, she invites Link to Blades.
Okay, I want to stop you right now. Obviously, if like me, you didn't remember because it'd been long enough what that was supposed to be. I was thinking like, oh, it's a roller skating rink with a focus on rollerblades.
I didn't remember it being an ice rink.
And I know we're jumping the gun just a little bit because there's a little bit of stuff that happens, some important stuff.
Yeah.
But I just want to say that because we're name dropping the blades. I
did not remember it being ice skating rink. I thought it was just like an arcade with roller skating.
And it's still an arcade.
Yeah, but
with ice skating, because that's where Radmobile is. We need to stop before we talk any more about it.
Fine,
we'll get there in just a second. But yeah,
just
since we were name dropping it anyway, I needed to say that.
Cool name though.
It is a cool name, but again, also would have worked to just be a regular roller skating rink with focus on rollerblades. So then they could have still just had kids on regular skates and rollerblades.
That could have been like a skate pit with like ramps and shit.
But before we get there though, we have some fun things that happen, such as the 7-Eleven.
The 7-Eleven scene. This is where we get our drink.
This is where we get Wheezing the Juice.
Wheezing the Juice. No. Wheezing the Juice.
Before we get to Wheezing the Juice, though, we got to munch on some grindage.
Yeah, munch on some grindage.
And if we're going to do that, we got to eat the 4 food groups.
The 4 basic food groups.
Put the banana down, Link.
No, that's not one of them, man. The banana is not one of the food groups.
So we're going to hit the first food group. That's going to be Milk Duds.
Oh, yeah.
For dairy.
The dairy group.
Sweet Tarts.
Fruit group.
Citrus. There's lots of citrus.
Citrus are fruity, man. You gotta have that.
Fruit group.
Yeah. Oh, dude, totally.
Our beer is our fruit
group.
There's definitely lots of citrus there. It literally fits exactly Stoney's requirements for
gotta have your daily fruit group.
So this is our fruit group. The next one though, vegetable group, corn nuts.
Of course. Barbecue corn nuts even.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If you're gonna do corn nuts, you got to do barbecue ranch. You can't do the plain. The plain it's a lot of salt. It's a lot of salt and nothing else.
Just roll them in more salt and try it.
If you're gonna do corn nuts, you need a flavor. I'll even settle for nacho cheese. I love most cheese things, but corn nuts are my least favorite cheese thing. I would rather have the ranch or the barbecue.
Yeah, I like the barbecue ones.
I think we've delved.
They're too hard though. They hurt my teeth. I can't eat them very often.
I think we've delved enough into the world of
the world
of corn nuts. But then, of course, the last food group.
Meat group.
Microwave meat group. frozen burritos.
Now was it 1 minute or 2 minute on the frozen?
Oh,
burritos?
when they walk in, I love that. He's yelling to them, 1 minute or 2 minutes. And the people that are working are arguing with each other. One is like 2 minutes, one is like 1 minute. And they don't settle on it. Just one of them finally goes, minute and a half.
Minute and a half.
Minute and a half.
Right. Pulls it out. Now, of course, hot on the outside, icicle in the middle.
And then, Stoney looks at Link and he goes, kind of like you, dude. Priceless.
It was good.
He splits it. He goes, we gotta share. It's even. Yeah,
equal. Right.
But yeah, this is then after they have now munched on the grindage. It is time to wheeze.
It is time to wheeze the juice.
The icy machine.
You gotta just stick your mouth right under that nozzle, man, and just.
And he is clearly he is doing the Coca-Cola icy. You could tell. It had the brownish tinge.
One. Link goes in full cherry, bright fucking red, and he gets just all over his face, dude. Those poor guys behind the counter, just get the fuck out of here. Get out of my goddamn store.
I do believe this sets a very specific.
And one of the dudes behind the counter was somebody from Stargate too. Yes. Oh shit, what's her name? Share's dad. Yeah. All our Stargate nerds out there, you know what I'm talking about.
It's so funny because they start yelling at him to no chill, because he keeps yelling at him, chill.
There's no
chill. They chase him out, and this is when we get our first callback to the Terminator. we see Link walks back,
throws the sunglasses on.
I'll be back. And then the guy yells one more time, no chill.
And then we are off to Mega Mountain. And
what would a caveman think?
Dude, I have no idea.
Not even let's not address what we see here. Like, not how they think a caveman. What do you think exactly? I was like, dude, that would be the most anxiety-inducing thing in the world to an actual caveman. Police. Like, they let Link have fun. Yeah. I don't think that's what would actually happen.
No, he would have freaked out.
Panic attack. He would be curled up in a fetal position on the ground.
Just wailing uncontrollably.
This was a wild idea on Stoney's part. The 7-Eleven thing, clone gas station, great.
Yeah,
this, too much.
Right. There's especially all the people and shit everywhere.
It was fun though, but too much.
They're just running around. They're like beating up on the mascot and shit and riding roller coasters.
He finally takes him back to Dave's house. Dave's screaming because he's waiting for him.
He's like, you know how worried I was? You guys just left right after school.
He's like, I was just hanging out with my friend.
Why didn't they take Dave?
Well, because he's on the scooter.
Oh yeah, how are you going to get him on there? That's a fair point.
Stoney had that thought out.
Sorry, Dave. You don't get to go.
But yeah, again, he's acting like Link is his property.
Yeah, like he owns him.
You didn't tell me where you were taking my property.
Right, you didn't tell me where you were taking him. You're gonna ruin my plan of being cool.
Again, it didn't matter. Stoney was gonna be there for dinner because that's what we see. The dinner table is set. He literally has a full conversation with Dave's dad about why he's there for dinner.
Right, like, look, if I had the Brady Bunch thing going on,
you know how my house is.
I'd go eat over there.
It's not like that. I can't do that.
He asked him, he's like, how's your mom? And he's like, oh, like super sad. Pass the peas. That's all we get.
Yep. Again, it is totally just a moment where he both shows his gratitude and shows off why the dad doesn't want him there at the same time. And it's full of the Pauly Shore-isms going on.
Right. So he's just like, look, man, like, don't harsh my grindage or whatever the fuck he says while he's like, it's basically translates to like, look, I'm sorry I eat your food, but you have really good food.
And this scene shows off a point that the movie keeps showing us, and it never goes away. Like, maybe when he first de-thawed, I think it made sense. But at this point, we're far enough away from him de-thawing. What is with this appetite that Link has?
Yeah, dude, he has a huge bowl. He's like shoveling salad and mashed potatoes and shit.
And it made sense in the beginning because he'd been frozen for God knows. He cried.
You're gonna be hungry.
At this point, shouldn't it even
especially after everything fucking they ate at the 7-Eleven and she had like 9 rolls of Sweet Tarts?
Shouldn't it balance out somewhere? This dude's metabolism is through the fucking roof, dude. But it does lead us into Shoo Fly.
Shoo Fly, don't bother me.
Shoo Fly,
Don't bother me.
And Link just swinging, going nuts at the fly.
Catches it, and then turns around, eats it. I do this, the shoe fly thing, anytime there's a fly.
Then after this, we get our first look at Blades.
Yeah, now
they're in the parking lot. Dave kind of makes fun of himself because he's like, we're just here to drop him off. How cool are we? And Stoney, again, right attitude. Stoney says, look, it doesn't matter if they said we're invited or not.
Like, bro, I showered for this. Dude, I have a dope deodorant on. Smell it.
Well, and he's right, though. Like, if you brought him and it's a public space, does it matter if they said you're invited or not?
Fuck you.
You can go in. He's your friend. He wants you there. Link definitely wants them there.
Dude, Dave has a bad attitude through this whole fucking movie.
Again, like we've said, we finally get inside the door, and it is a skating rink, not just an ice skating rink.
They're like playing hockey.
It is a game of hockey. Well, it's like a mini rink. How that thing was tiny,
like a half rink.
I don't understand.
I don't know.
In California.
I didn't know they were big into hockey out there.
Well, even if they're not,
it's like a Detroit kind of thing.
Well, even if you're not, like, well, I mean, Anaheim Ducks, Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, I guess.
But even beyond that, though, was it so big to have a hangout place?
Right.
Like, again, an ice skating rink itself is one thing. That's not what this was.
This is like the spot.
This
where
is like
everybody goes.
This is the Max on Saved by the Bell, but there's a mini ice skating rink in the middle of the floor.
It's the juice bar on Power Rangers.
Right,
this is where everybody hangs out.
It doesn't make sense. It's so fucking strange. So
Michael DeLuise wanted to show off that he could ice skate.
As soon as they walk in, though, we see the weird dick-headed skater guys.
Yeah, they like trip him on
They kick the skateboard down, and he falls on it into Robin.
Smack right into
smooth.
Her. Nice and smooth. I would have been like, hey, baby.
Now, those skaters, I want to point out, though, those kids are ahead of their time. Did you see them sharing the earbuds?
Yeah, sharing the earbud.
First off, this is 92. Who was rocking an earbud already?
How expensive were those?
I
had the
I don't remember
seeing Walkman ones.
I don't remember seeing earbuds, like in-ear earbuds, until like 99 or something.
Dude.
Like 92, you're right. That's when they would have still been called an in-ear monitor, right?
Yeah, something.
It wouldn't have been this.
You're paying $60 for those back in 1992.
But they were sharing them too.
Right?
Like I love that. Like that. I was like, that they're so ahead. Right? They don't even know how ahead of their time they are. Like that, they're showing that to us for us to make fun of how silly that looks. But today,
we used to do that.
Today people still do that. People do that with wireless ones.
Oh yeah, wireless one even easier. Like here, there you go.
We're listening to the same thing. Yeah.
Me and my buddy on road trips, y'all just hand him one. There you go.
And so
we're gonna listen to a podcast. Let's go.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's so easy, dude. And it's so funny that we do that all the time now. But this was a joke.
They played it off as a joke, but these guys are genius.
Yeah. Then we see the cave paintings again
with the ketchup and mustard. He's drawing boobs. Gazungas.
And we get the not so smooth, almost creepy Dave Robin interaction. This is the one that stands out the most to me.
Picture?
The baby picture in the tub. Don't forget, Robin, I've seen you naked.
Ooh.
We've been naked together. I don't remember exactly how he words it.
We've been naked together.
Either way, it's weird.
It was. She kind of laughs for a second. She's like, oh, a nice body. And then she realizes where she is. She's like, has anybody else fucking seen this?
It's very strange, very uncomfortable.
I'm going to go ahead and just hide this in case somebody sees it.
Don't agree with Dave.
No, it was weird. I wrote that one down. I was just like, maybe baby pick, not the right move.
Yeah, I'm not okay with it. Let's see. And then we get the Radmobile.
Yes. Radmobile.
I want to say right now, though.
Didn't they have one at that movie theater we used to go to back in the
day?
They
had anything that was like that. I don't know if that's what it was called, though. But yeah, they had something. It was one of the car. Like
one of the car. You sat in the car.
I want to say, though, before, I always, in my head, I always think that the Radmobile is the same game that's in Doug Funny from when he teaches his sister to
drive,
which is with the dinosaurs. And it's maybe just because this is Encino Man, and it would have made sense for it to be a driving game with dinosaurs. Awesome. But literally every time it happens to me so much that as soon as I have the lit down moment when I see that it's not the dinosaur one,
there's no dinosaurs.
I have the instant reaction of, Shane, you remember the last time you watched this and you remembered it wasn't
exact same fucking
thoughts. But I still always do, like at the build up to when he's about to go play, I'm like,
give me the dinosaurs.
He's gonna be steering around the dinosaur feet stepping, and I'm like, no, that's Doug.
Fuck.
I appreciate that you did know
what
the
a
reference.
Callback though, Doug. Nice. Love that fucking show.
It's ingrained to me. Like those to me, they are the same.
I sing the theme song to Doug all the time, dude.
But yeah, to me, those things, these are
they just coincide with each other. They're the same thing.
They might as well both. Like, I mean, for all I care, they are in my head. It is canon.
Yep.
They are both just playing.
They're both playing.
The Radmobile is a dinosaur game. The one in Doug is called Radmobile. Whatever. Yep. That is our new canon.
That is how it works. Canon.
However you
Stamped.
need it to work. Yeah, they are the same video game. While this is going on, though,
Matt comes up and
calling shit on Dave.
Yeah, and grabs him, pulls him out on the ice, and he's fucking smacking him in the head and being an asshole.
On him.
I told you not to talk to my girl.
But Link from the Radmobile.
Right? He hears it and he comes over. He's like
runs out on the ice. Again,
Weasel
man's
the
afraid
Juice.
of ice. Man's afraid of ice.
Yeah, because he doesn't. He's like, oh, I remember that shit. Fuck this.
I was stuck in this shit.
He gets off of it. If you notice, he starts on it and then he immediately backs up.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Back on.
But he's got to be there for his friend. So he's like,
yeah, you stop what you're doing. Yeah. He yells, "Wheezing the Juice."
Gets punched in the face.
He takes it though.
Yeah, he does.
He doesn't go down. Everybody's shocked. Like, whoa, new kid took it. Oh.
And then in the parking lot...
Apparently Matt's a knockout artist.
Well, and in the parking lot, Dave's getting mad. Again, because Dave's a dickhead.
Yeah, he's like a pacifist caveman. Are you fucking kidding me?
And Stoney, again, to all his credit, the intelligent, the hero, he says,
he's right.
Of course not. They didn't fight for popularity, man. They fought for survival.
Right? They fought for food.
This isn't something that mattered to him.
Something that he gave a shit about.
Which I call bullshit on. Alpha dog stuff is a thing that they definitely would have been dealing.
If you get hit, you're going to hit back. But I get what they were doing.
Yeah, I understand for the movie. But I mean, in real life, a caveman probably 100%.
He would have tore his throat out.
Would not have dealt with that.
Would have been over.
But so then but then Sony was like, but I'll tell you what, maybe we should show him how to defend himself. He does need
to learn how to defend himself.
And so how do they do that?
We get some old school pro wrestling,
WWF. We will say that because that's what it was back then.
It was old school WWF. That was classy Freddie Blassie doing the
I just mean again, like kids today don't know that.
No.
They only know WWE. I'm making sure you understand.
It used to be F.
Because it was before people cared if two organizations used the same lettering. But then at some point, the World Wildlife Fund was like, you can't keep using that because people are getting us confused with you. And so then the World Wrestling Federation had to give it up.
We lost to a fucking panda.
And then they became, it's World Wrestling Entertainment.
Yeah, it's World Wrestling Entertainment now.
I just was making sure what the E was for.
But that's classy Freddie Blassie in that clip, man.
But so they show wrestling, they show some kung fu movies and fighting. So that's how he learns some boxing. He does the bow.
Yeah, the little bow thing. And he's like, break the board. And then he just, this is actually the smartest thing I've ever seen anybody do with the board breaking thing. He just grabs it and snaps it over Sean Astin's face. Instead of breaking it with his own head. I'm like, yeah, that's how you should do that.
And we see, boxing. You said, boxing. Again, they're showing him the good things.
Good stuff you should always know. Boxing, wrestling, and a little bit of kung fu never hurt anybody, right?
We leave this moment, though. This is when we get the thing that follows him for every Pauly Shore movie. Random. This is so random. It didn't even make sense when it was happening, right? We just see him. He's in the science lab for some reason, and he's cooking the frog.
He cooks
on
the frog on the Bunsen
burner.
burner, takes a big bite out of it, just like in Son-in-Law, where you see him.
But again, this is the movie it comes from, and it still doesn't make sense. It's still there randomly just to show us that he still hasn't gotten over this insatiable hunger.
He just has to eat, man, and that was the only food.
This also gives us a montage to show us how well he's doing, right?
Yeah, like this is where like everyone likes him. He's hanging out with the computer club doing stuff. He's hanging out with the pottery club.
Because again, we know he can make a mean Mousterian bowl,
mustard bowl.
And it's also the time where we finally get to see our guy Key.
Yep, he comes in. He's just because we see
he's
like the captain of the.
We see a quick montage
club, right?
in the computer class, and then we see a moment where he runs up to him outside when Dave and Stoney are with him, and they're like, how do you even fucking know him?
Like and stuff. He's because they're going to accept him to the computer.
And they're like, what's going on here?
Right?
He's more famous than I wanted him to be.
Right? Dave's just sitting. He's like, how come one dude punches me? I don't get this kind of treatment.
Well, again, like I said, he's getting more famous. He's getting too much.
Yeah,
it's too much notoriety.
Popular.
Dave wanted him to be popular enough that it made Dave popular too. But now Link is the only one becoming popular, and Dave does not fucking like it.
Doesn't like
because again, he's a bad guy.
He is. He's an asshole. And I didn't realize that until we watched it for this, I never paid attention to that. I was sitting there watching. I was like, man, I never realized how much of a dick Dave is through this whole movie.
Dave is not a good guy.
No, I was taken aback. I didn't remember the movie this way. I was like, man, I gotta rethink this shit a little bit.
Now you understand how I felt last week with Groundhog Day when I was just like, Jesus, Phil is a horrible guy.
Fucking person, right? He's an asshole.
Never learned anything. Jesus Christ.
Manipulated motherfuckers all the way to the goddamn end.
Right?
Son of a bitch.
And they just wrapped it up to make us think that it was good.
Like it was all happy music, so we thought he learned a lesson.
But no. Yeah, so the next thing, though, we see is when the school takes their trip.
The Natural History Museum.
Which, as you pointed out earlier, means that this thing is right down the street from them.
Yeah, they could have just called somebody and been like, hey, we found something weird, and we don't think it's a murder. Can you come look at it?
We found a body.
But it's in ice. It's in ice, so I don't think it's a murder victim.
Can you please help us? But while they're at the museum, we realize Link is having, like, PTSD.
Yeah, like he's starting to like figure out like, well,
he's processing
like, what happened to him and shit, because he sees all the bones of like
he understands that he is now he is separated. Yeah, right, like he understands there's no going back
to what he's not just like he's not
vacationing in this world.
He didn't just end up in a different part of the world. Like, he can never get back to anything that he knew.
His world is gone.
This is it. It's bone.
It's gone, forgotten.
And he flips the fuck out.
Runs to the exhibit.
And he's sitting there, it's so sad. He's trying to, it's like, you can see on his face, he's like, if I could have just got that fire going in the beginning of the movie, right?
Dave still being a douche.
Yeah, right. Stoney's up there. He's like, no, man,
we gotta help him.
We're your family.
It's our responsibility, dude.
He's like, fuck him.
Dave's just like, fuck him.
Yeah, fuck him.
He's,
like,
he's broken now.
He needs to chill.
Dave's like that kid when he breaks a toy and he's like, throw it in the trash.
He's like, broken now. I don't want to deal with this shit. Right?
But then also to top all of it off, as if it's not bad enough, Link is having a breakdown. Matt's watching from the background.
Like, what the fuck is that
What world do we live in that it matters? Because what is Matt piecing together? Matt's supposed to look and be like, he's a caveman. Matt's going to go tell people, I think he's a caveman.
I think he's a caveman.
Shut up.
Shut the fuck up, dude. I loved Stoney in this, man. He's over. He's like, man, it's okay.
Yeah,
he's like, we're your family now. We're gonna take care of you, right, Dave? Motherfucker, Dave.
When we get back to school for driver's ed.
This is my favorite part of
I love this. So it's driver's ed and Stoney. Now, what's outrageous is that a foreign exchange student
has driver's ed.
Because I don't think that's how that works.
I don't think it does
because it's a weird international law thing about driving, right? But beyond that, it's so crazy that they wouldn't have made like the host kid be with him. Like Dave and Stoney are in a classroom, different class. That they just by chance look out the window and see that he is getting in. And so it's just Robin and Link. And before anybody else can get in the car, Link is starting to drive off. But luckily, Stoney had seen it with enough time for them to make it out
the side somehow and jump in
before the teacher even got in the car.
I don't know. They were
it's
flash.
Insane. Whoosh. But they dive in, so luckily they're there. And Link turns this motherfucker up on two wheels.
Two wheels in forever, and there's an awesome shot.
The teacher is in shock.
If you see it there's a shot when it's coming straight at the camera, you can see the guy driving. It's like this big fat dude driving this car up on two wheels, the stunt driver. Some things just shouldn't be enhanced.
Yeah.
Because you could see him clear as day. I was like, oh, well, there's the stunt driver. They drive that thing on two wheels, like through an intersection even, too. They go past Dave's mom and sister.
Well, I love and then we get the brief moment of the teacher, and he's like, you don't have to tell anybody.
He's explaining to the cops. He's like, you ain't got to tell him I left the keys in the ignition, do you?
What's he afraid of at this point? Why would you tell that to the cop, the person you wouldn't want to know that? I wouldn't have said
a fucking word about it. They don't need to fucking know.
But this leads us to the bar because I guess he hears the music from the car.
And he's just like,
so he stops and he's like, this is the place. He runs inside. This is a club/bar. Like the dance floor totally looks like a club, but the bar scenes look like it's just a straight bar.
Up dive bar.
Right? So I don't understand where we're at. Bravo downtown Encino.
Yeah, hell yeah. It looked like a dope place. I'd have hung out there.
But so instantly We see Stoney makes friends with the Vatos hanging
Vatos.
and they're like, getting him wasted,
dude. Like, you want to be a man, Weasel?
Well, no, they
tequila.
say they don't. And then they're like, he's like, "Where's the worm?"
The worm's right there.
And he says, "No, I'm the Weasel."
Oh, there it is. The birth, the emergence of the Weasel.
And then he hits him
he
with
makes that annoying noise again, too. Ugh.
Well, but then he hits him with the most important question of all. I don't have to pay for this.
Right? He's like, wait. I don't got to pay for these, right?
Okay.
Yeah, sweet. Fuck yeah, back into it. Dave is a downer in this, though.
Well, no, Dave is a downer from the get-go.
From the beginning.
And then Robin is excited.
Yeah, she says,
let's go dance. He says no. Then he gets mad because Link is getting the girl because Link is dancing.
Having a good fucking time and being cool.
While this is going on, Link looks at the woman.
Oh yeah,
he eyeballs the hell out of the woman.
He fucking carries her off even too, and that dude is just like, I said, anybody who looks at my woman, I will kill him, man. And then Link just looks at him and in Spanish says, the cheese is old and moldy. Do you know where the bathroom is? And that just makes that dude laugh.
The dude says no. It's not even just that it makes him laugh. The dude then says, you're right.
She ain't worth it, Holmes.
He thinks that Link was saying the girl is like
moldy cheese,
like old moldy cheese.
Old moldy cheese is, you need, this bitch is old and crusty. You need to get a new
She does
one.
get upset and she slaps the fuck out of her boyfriend.
Fuck out of him.
I guess now ex-boyfriend.
Oh, definitely. He knew. He started crying immediately. He was like, "Oh, I fucked up." And his boys have to hold him.
And right when this happens, what happened? The cops busted.
Fucking show up. Everybody's scattered, dude. Like, and those dudes, those Mexican guys, they're like, "Yo, Stoney and your girl
and Robin,
you guys come with us."
But not Link and Dave.
Well, Dave tries to go get Link, and he's like hanging from the ceiling, and she's like, "Come on, we gotta go. We're gonna get busted."
Yes, you are.
The cops is like, "You are busted, and you go to jail." Isn't it great? Don't you love it when you go to jail?
Man, this is the part where I start to be like, before this, we've never seen enough of Robin for me to try to make a judgment call on her. As much as we have already said Dave is not the hero and Dave is not the good guy, Dave is just our main character, Dave does not deserve what happens right now, and she is a bitch. And maybe Dave should just set his sights for someone better.
Oh yeah.
Again, this is coming from people who we have already acknowleded that Dave is not a good person.
A dick,
but he deserves better than this. So he uses his one phone call. He does not call his mom. He does not call his grandparents. He does not call anybody who could fucking help
him out of jail.
He calls her
to ask her to prom.
And
isn't that just the sweetest?
And she immediately says no.
Without a thought. She didn't even think about it. She's like, no.
She does it, and then she starts talking to him immediately about Link in a way as if she didn't just answer that question. Right?
Oh my God.
She immediately is just like, no. Hey, but I wanted to tell you, I want Link.
I want to go with Link, though. Can you set that up for me?
Well, and it's such a fucked up move because of who Link is to Dave. Yeah. It's a fucked up move because her friend Ella was already on dates.
She called dibs, too. That's a little fucked up to do to your girl.
All of this is fucking bullshit, dude.
It is. It's
like I said,
bullshit.
This is the first moment we really find anything out about Robin.
She's a little bit of a bitch.
Fuck, dude. You can do better, Dave.
Yeah.
Stoney's right.
Stoney's right, dude.
That's the moral of the story.
Everybody should listen to Stoney.
Stoney is right.
Stoney is right.
Dave is now mad. He fucking
he's
hates.
Like, fine, I'm done with this guy. He packs
him up in the car.
He looks so sad. Does he think he knows? He knows what's up.
He gives him his backpack. A handful of quarters
for
Radmobile. But he doesn't take him to the arcade.
No, he just drops him off in the middle of nowhere.
Thankfully, when he was leaving, Stoney saw him and followed him out there. And Stoney was like,
the real goddamn hero. He won't let him.
He goes, Dave, we can't do this. You call him back, Dave. You tell him to come back here. And I was just like, Stoney, you know he's not going to. You call him back.
Right, you do it.
But then they get into a fight.
Oh, dude, he punches the shit out of Stoney, and Link ain't having it. He comes back.
Well, and Link isn't having it not because, again, not in a hateful way towards Dave.
No.
In a, we are all friends, and I'm protecting
We're family.
Friends.
He says it, family.
Friends don't do this. Definitely, they have the moment they're just like, friends. We are friends. We don't do that. They all hug. They're all better. And
Dave does not say sorry.
No, he
Link.
doesn't.
I want to point that out. He says sorry to Stoney. does not say sorry to Link for I'm going to abandon you in the desert.
Well, and it gets worse because then the next thing we see is that it's the night of prom.
Yeah.
He does indeed at least help Link get ready for prom.
Gets the corsage and stuff.
But as he's getting him ready, he literally hits him with the "Don't you fucking touch her! If you touch her,
I will kill you."
It's done.
You do not have the right to say such things, sir.
Right? And so I was like, God damn, Duke, you can't let it go.
Calm down,
right?
brother.
Like, let it go. And then Robin has the balls when she shows up to be like, but we said we were all going together because she tried to throw that. She tried to do the group date.
We'll all go on it, we'll all go as a group and
And so, like, I only even point out that she says that when she shows up now.
Yeah.
Because of how ridiculous it is in 5 minutes when we come back.
Right.
Because this is nuts. This whole the way the next 5 minutes of the movie, which are the end,
and it goes
play
fast.
out, is insane. But so he's just like, no, I'm not gonna go. That's nuts. You guys have fun.
Right.
And she is dressed to the nines, and our boy Brendan Fraser as Link is definitely still fucking 90s cool,
dude. It's like a paisley freaking suit jacket, right?
I love it. Shorts, isn't it? So shorts, like long shorts,
long
like Chance.
shorts, like Chance. Yeah,
I love it.
And he's like pulled his hair into like a rat tail in the back, so it's all like poofed on the top, but he's got the little ponytail.
But so they are off to prom. Stoney and
they just
Dave are hanging out.
They have a keg.
They did finish the pool.
They did. It's full of water. They filled it with water.
What did they seal this with?
Nothing. It's just a mud pit with water.
It should be a lot muddier than what we see too.
Right. But they're drinking beer out of fancy champagne glasses. I got the keg tapped behind them. Good on them on that,
Matt
I guess.
sneaks into the house.
Oh, that motherfucker. He takes a sick bump, though. Did you see that shit?
He gets wrapped
up in the hammock and flop, smacks the fucking ground.
And then he finds Polaroids.
Yep. Remember those?
Of what is, again, we can see them very clearly.
Block.
You can barely tell that there is something in one of the Polaroids.
You might be able to tell there's kind
but
of
he is
something
convinced
that looks
he
like
now
a face.
has the evidence.
I've got him. I can ruin him now.
What? And it is ridiculous because he then shows up at
prom because they're about to name Link prom king.
Yeah.
And Robin's already been named prom queen and stuff.
And he's like, I've got the evidence.
Like, he showed up. You people want to know, like, when something's bullshit at our school, right? This guy's a caveman.
Everybody's like,
huge pop. Everybody's like, yeah.
Did not have the outcome that he was expecting.
Right.
For sure.
That was the best part where no one cared.
But no one cared. But they do, though. They show up immediately. He's like, these pictures. They laugh. Dave shows up and is like, give me those.
Pop.
But what's nuts is he's like, give me those wall mats being laughed off the stage.
Right, like it obviously doesn't matter.
Dave could have just stood there.
Yeah, like,
and let it play out.
No one gives a shit. Okay, I guess it doesn't matter.
They all think this is a ridiculous situation, like it is.
We had to have the
Duke out. The fight. So he punches him, and then when he punches Dave flies off the stage. Link's had enough.
Oh, yeah.
And Link uses what he learns from his
wrestling, man. He pulls it out.
Spins him around.
Big airplane spin. Throws him into the cake. Splat.
Stoney finishes the chop. Comes over.
Little punch.
Pours some punch on him. Hits him with his own shoosh. In the way that only Pauly Shore could.
Right.
It's the way I hear it in my head is the Pauly Shore shoosh.
The way it is. Because it's shoosh.
That's the way I hear it.
And then Dance Party.
Then, no, it's not even just Dance Party. It starts off with a cool dance by Link.
Yeah, he's doing like this funky monkey dance, right?
And then all of a sudden, that turns into him and Stoney doing it together. Yeah, and then, like a line dance. And then Dave looking at Robin and saying, check this out.
I'm finally going to not be an uptight asshole for once.
But then he immediately gets outshone because everybody in the school is also doing the dance.
They all do the big group dance, the big funky monkey.
And we never see him get crowned. They never finish that.
No, because it just immediately we're moving this party over to Dave's,
the pool,
to the mud pool,
in his pool. And this is the part where I was saying the part with Robin is so absurd, right? Because the only inclination we have that there is any interest from her towards Dave is literally the split second where she was like, "Why aren't you dressed?"
Right.
There is never anything else in any part of this movie where she shows interest in Dave.
None.
and they're making out. He's had his redemption. When did this happen?
I don't know.
When did he redeem himself from anything he has done?
In the last fucking like 2 minutes of the movie when he got punched, I guess? I don't know.
Getting punched doesn't redeem you.
Makes people feel bad for you, though.
That's not the same.
She's a pity kiss. I don't know. Fuck.
No, they're full on dating. You can tell.
I know. I even wrote my notes. I was like, Dave gets the girl, but I don't feel like he deserved it.
Don't get me wrong. He doesn't need the girl. Nobody else needs her either, though. Because, again, like, the only person that might have ended up with the girl other than him is Link. And Link, again, should have either been with Ella or how it ends
here in a minute.
So Robin was just floating around for no reason at that point.
No.
Because Tony had no interest in Robin.
Might as well let fucking Dave have
it. But
her.
as that goes on, we see Link pops in, frozen burrito in hand, cheers them on.
Yeah,
good job, guys.
And then Dave.
And then we see him and Link notice, hey, wait a minute. There's mud on the fucking door again. The smoke alarm's going off.
They're like muddy boob prints on the
smoke alarm's going off again. They hear the scream.
Like the rehash of the beginning.
They see, this time not the TV, the painting. The pictures on the wall all have
little
cave
paintings on them.
And they get up there, and I want to say this right now. She is so much smarter than Link because she figures out the tub on her own.
She's like,
in a tub.
I am unfrozen. I must have a bath.
They find her. She's in the bath. There's bubbles. Meaning she figured out the chemicals.
She's washing even. She's got a rag.
She is so much smarter.
It's their cave nug.
And we go from there to, I guess, same night transformation.
Yeah, they just cleaned her up and went and stole his mom's clothes. I don't know where the clothes came from.
Looking got greasy. And that's the end.
The end, buddy.
And then but then you think it's completely over, and we get one last. I'll be back. And then now that's the end.
Yeah, and then it's over.
God bless the Pauly Shore isms.
Yeah, dude. I love Pauly Shore.
Again, this was the dawn of the age.
Right. This
is where it started. This is where it all began.
And it went for a lot longer than you think.
Oh, definitely.
Everybody's like, oh, it was like a year. It's like, fuck no, dude, it's like 8 movies.
Yeah,
where the fuck
did
were
this
you guys
again?
at?
He did this for a long time, and then when you thought it was all over, he came back and hit you with Pauly Shore is Dead, where he did them all again.
Yeah, I love.
Yeah, he brings back the guy that we were talking about from Groundhog Day. He's in there. I mean, he brings back a bunch of people.
Fuck yeah, we need to do that one too. We need to do all the Pauly Shore movies.
I think it goes without saying we usually tell you guys a little bit of we love the movie, we don't. I think
it's obvious.
We were so giddy at the beginning.
Right, we couldn't even hold it in.
You know, it's great. We love this movie. We'll hit you with the beer. I liked it.
I did too. I liked it. It was
okay. So I gotta say,
sour.
A lot of sours are too sour. This one, when you that first drink, it's gonna get you.
Yeah, it's like, oh, but then you don't really notice it after that.
This was the perfect amount of sour. Yeah. Like it was just enough. Again, it's more fruit, less sour. It's again, it gives. Underline the word fruited. Not
I could taste the orange.
Yeah, most sours are the other way. It's
all sour.
Soft fruited. Underline the sour. Right.
Fucking lips just pucker together.
I go Mirror Twin again.
Oh yeah, dude.
This is like the second or third time we've had something from them.
Good.
We've got eyes on some of their other stuff.
Oh yeah, dude.
They've got great names for things
they have good names
that
for
help
stuff.
us lean into some things that we want to do. If you've never had a sour and you want to maybe try one, as someone who has had other sours before and was not impressed, I'll say try this one first.
I've never had one. I liked this one. Go Wheezing the Juice, man.
Well, that being said, what are we doing next week, man?
Next week, we're going back to somebody else. We've done these guys before. We're going Brewdog's Brewing Company's Clockwork IPA.
Clockwork.
That's your clue, everybody. You know how this game is played by now. Make your guesses in the descriptions below. Facebook, send us an email.
Comments.
Hell, DM me. I'll tell you if you're right or wrong. I don't care.
But do something.
Do something. Interact.
All right. Well, I'm pretty sure that's officially it, dude. I think we're done.
All right, cool. You want to go dig a pool? Let's go dig a pool.